So I thought I'd just show a little bit of some of the things I delve into. Having ADHD and a very curious and investigative mind, but also disorganized gateway experience. The gateway experience is a series of tapes. There's actually four, five, eight, six. There's about, I believe, 10 in there. Yeah. And the gateway experience is basically from the Monroe Institute and was used by the CIA in Project Grillflame. Yeah. Mission statement. Just take this down. I haven't got this in view for you. I'll just take it into view. So you can see it properly. I didn't know it was going to do that. Get it into full view of the screen. There you go. Approved for release in 2001 on the 2nd of April. Mission statement. To establish a program using psychoenergetics for intelligence applications. Specifically utilizing that field of psychoenergetics referred to as remote viewing. So it was a remote viewing program. And whether they discussed later about whether it's got to be classed as actually a project or as R&D, which means research and development. And if it's research and development for military purposes or for intelligence purposes, and so on. So that when they were going to present it to try and get the funds for continuing the program. So establishing a training program in remote viewing utilizing selected INSCOM, INSCOM personnel. See what that is later. Establishing procedures for intelligence collection techniques utilizing remote viewing. So remote viewing means meditating and coming out of your body and astral traveling basically with your mind into any place you want in time and space. Not just in space, but in time. In time, we will see that if we look at this. Project Grillflame, by the way, was under Project Stargate. So, Stargate has a lot of documents. You know. Got this from the Black Vault, obviously. Must have downloaded it, which is one place you can go to find these documents. But most of mine, I got them actually from the FBI vault, and I had them for a long time. The purpose of this program, Stargate, is to determine the characteristics of those perceptual modalities through which individuals obtain information about their environment. So how to understand how we condition ourselves through our perception, and obviously how to manipulate it, wherein such information is not presented to any nonsense. People who become conscious of something without hearing or seeing it, which means extrasensory perception, ESP. The program is divided. So the CIA, this was in the 1980s, were experimenting with psychic powers and remote viewing, basically, for espionage and other purposes. The program is divided into two categories of investigation of approximately equal effort: applied research and basic research. The purpose of the applied research effort is to explore experimentally the potential for applications of perceptual abilities of interest, such as Project Grillflame, which deals with remote viewing, which we'll go back to shortly. So, with special attention given to accuracy and reliability. So this is what the Defense Ministry or the Secret Service wanted to, well, the government who were financing it wanted to see as a result is high degree of accuracy and reliability in order to invest further in research and development, of course. So, the purpose of the book is to identify the characteristics of individuals possessing such abilities, which they found out later isn't necessary, that anybody can do it because we all possess those abilities. And I think that's why they shut it down, actually. But anyway, and plus that they found actual technology that could do it more accurately than psychic abilities. So it did get shut down. As far as we know, these projects did anyway. Well, they found out that it works, so maybe then they just took it and used it and kept silent about it. Who knows? Anyway, because it does work, and that's the conclusion of Project Stargate and Grillflame and MK Ultra and so on. Not everything functioned, but most of it did. And to identify neurophysiological correlations and basic mechanisms involved in such functioning. So the biochemistry of it and the neurology of it. So to measure your brainwaves and shit. Progress during the reporting period. Remote viewing. So this is Grillflame. This is talking about Project Grillflame. A number of efforts were begun with respect to obtaining further information concerning remote viewing phenomena. First, an experiment has been designed in consultation with SRI psychologists. It's actually the Monroe Institute who did the project, which will yield precise statistical data as to discrimination ability. 10 sites known to the subject are to be visited in random sequence by a target demarcation team. So somebody else there to check that he's really seeing or she's really seeing what they say they are in remote viewing. The subject must then make a choice as to which site is being visited. So he would have to say which site the Secret Service have sent a team to visit. Oh no, not sure. In addition to providing descriptive material for content analysis. Oh, he should say where is, in which of the sites. Yeah. How many sites? 10 sites. Which of the 10? So they have Secret Service agents in all 10 places. And he should then, the remote viewer should then describe the place accurately. A pilot series involving real-time questioning of the subject by the target team via walkie-talkie is being explored to provide information for designing a protocol to investigate real-time correlations. One viewing with positive results has been carried out already. So, real-time questioning of the pilot series, meaning they're filming it as to show to other agents so they can learn how it's done. I'd like to get my hands on that video pilot series. Questioning of the subject by the target team via walkie-talkie. So the person's meditating and remote viewing, but you can still talk to them. They're sat in a chair in a room. And they're exploring to implement that. And they did one test with positive results. And a preliminary remote viewing pilot experiment was carried out with the subject HH. Who knows who that is? Wish I did. We could go and question him if he was still alive. Previously screened by the EEG. That's a brain scan thing. Correlates experiment described in our paper submitted for publication, Appendix 1. So you'd have to find out which is that paper and go and read it. The target chosen at random was a small red clapboard schoolhouse structure with a bell steeple on top in a miniature golf course. Oh my God. The subject's response was that she saw a red clapboard structure with a steeple that seemed to be artificial, as in a movie set. Wow. Well, there you go. That is accurate. Based on this result, a series of remote viewing experiments under strict protocols are planned with this subject. So this experiment gave birth to, the Project Grillflame, Director of Intelligence Agency, DIA. So that's his approval, yeah. and handwritten note, untitled mission notes, sanitized. I don't want sanitized 2.1. Jesus. Project N1X, Detlef von Line, the dreamlike structure of telepathic assertions. So that is just actually that is actually just, they took it from some book. What's this? Center Lane Personnel. Analysis and assessment of the gateway process. Approved for release by the CIA, RDP 96, Department of the Army, U.S. Army Operational Group, Intelligence and Security Command, Fort George G. Meade, Maryland, 20755, on the 9th of June, 1983. Analysis and assessment of the gateway process. These are authentic documents. This is from the FBI vault. Commander, U.S. Army Operational Group, Fort Meade, Maryland. You tasked me to provide an assessment of the gateway experience in terms of its mechanics and ultimate practicality. As I set out to fulfill that tasking, it soon became clear that in order to assess the validity and practicality of the process, I needed to do enough supporting research and analysis to fully understand how and why the process works, because it works. Yeah. As we just saw with the red clapperboard and the building with a steeple that looked like it was from a movie set, but it was actually a mini golf course, which looks like a movie set. That's amazing. Yeah. Frankly, sir, that proved to be an extremely involved and difficult business, initially based on conversations with a physician. That will be Dr. Monroe from the Monroe Institute, who took the gateway training with me. So he took the training. I had recourse to the biomedical models developed by Itzhak Bentov. So you can look up who is Itzhak Bentov, yeah, to obtain information concerning the physical aspects of the process. So who is Itzhak Bentov? Well, from atom to cosmos. He was an Israeli American scientist. No. Itzhak Ben Bentov, mystic and author. The steerable cardiac catheter helped pioneer the biomedical engineering industry. Early proponent of what would come to be referred to as consciousness studies, and authored several books on the subject. He was killed in the crash of American Airlines Flight 191. O'Hare in Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles in California in 1979. The worst non-terrorism related aviation disaster to have taken place on American soil. A steerable heart catheter. Had a chemistry lab, an electronics lab, had a miller so he could mill and shape steel or wood and plastic, had an extruder so he could work with polymers. He would literally make his own polymers, or at least mix different polymers in order to get what he wanted. As a result, he was a kind of a Renaissance person, technologically as well as intellectually. Holder of numerous... What is a steerable cardiac catheter? Diet spaghetti. Automobile brake shoes. EKG electrodes and pacemaker leads. Oh my God. He would have been sent to present his ideas of science and mysticism to a group of scientists from Japan. That's a bit... He created Israel's first rocket. Oh my God. So anyway, this guy's a genius, yeah? Most definitely a genius. And the CIA took this guy seriously. Of course, he invented the steerable cardiac catheter. Jeez. It means that you can move it around inside, steer it around inside their heart. My God. Brake shoes. And he was able to construct a scientifically valid and reasonable lucid model of how consciousness functions under the influence of the brain hemisphere synchronization. Because the gateway process that you learn, it's a meditation, you use stereo, and it synchronizes your left and right hemispheres of your brain to the point where you can then achieve remote viewing and other things in travel in space and time, and actually see in real time what's happening somewhere or sometime or somewhere and sometime else. Once this was done, the next step involved recourse to the theoretical physics in order to explain the character of the time-space dimension and the means by which expanded human consciousness transcends it in achieving Gateway's objectives. This is the Gateway program, yeah? Project Gateway. Within Project Stargate. And as you can see, there's a lot here. What's this? PIPD. Just look. It's just incredible. Briefing for the committee. Psychic spying. Yeah. This has been sanitized. That's pasted in. The talents of two subjects. One subject can cause a change of temperature while another can reproduce information in a sealed envelope, but neither can duplicate the work of the other. A third sensitive, is what they call them, Pat Price, is discovered with an apparent ability for remote viewing. The potential use of this technique for intelligence gathering spurs all concerned to move ahead quickly. Look at that. It's too sensitive and potentially embarrassing, and this MOTS is in the midst of an investigation. On remote viewing uncovers classified information and renews agency interest in ESP. Two remote viewers provide a good description of a military site by accident. Oh my God. They are then asked to describe the interior of the building and produce physical layout, code words, and a list of personnel. The names of the people prove to be incorrect, but the description of the interior and the code names are accurate enough to convince the new DCI, Colby, to renew work on ESP. This is basically a timeline of what happens. Neither director feels comfortable of the ORT and ORD. Decide not to. Why? And here they've blanked out talking about results that they don't want us to know about. Unworthy of further risk. A target for remote viewing. The sign describes an installation under construction which they believe to be blah 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 blah. They don't tell us. The customer is highly impressed with this information. Demonstrated remote viewing ability. Mr. Who? Mr. Price dies of a heart attack. Which turn passed on the outside subject. Price. Oh, Price died. Who's Pat Price? Rice University, rice.edu. Look at this. Wow, where is it then? Remote viewing transcripts. 7407 up to 76. 84. Oh my God. Stargate and Stanford research. You see, Stanford are very much involved with the CIA. Videos of early experiments. That's really good. So how do you get hold of the repository? Where'd you get it? Where do I get where's the download? Anyway, so let's go back to here. Analysis and assessment of the gateway process. Yeah. Required to take the gateway training or work with gateway materials. Wayne M. McDonald. Yeah. So, it's Wayne M. McDonald. So, Grillflame meeting. What's this? The Discovery series. Enhanced relaxation concentration program. So I don't think the CIA were not were laughing at meditation and stuff in those days. Discovery series. That was a preliminary before Gateway to determine who can be best helped by continuing the Monroe training. You see, Dr. Monroe of the Monroe Institute. Joe Hartfern. And that Pat Price guy, geez. Application of the Monroe Discovery series. I know the Gateway series. Attendance at the Gateway program for advanced personnel. Assessment and analysis, one-on-one training with R.A. Monroe at Monroe Institute. Designed to customize individual techniques for specific individual needs. Specialists. Psychic specialists. The use of biomonitoring devices to measure and record levels and degrees of relaxation concentration for determining accuracy. Liaison with R.A. Monroe to purchase directly from him the Discovery series and set a tentative schedule for Joe's attendance at the Gateway program. So there you go. That's something I study, you know? The Center Lane personnel. And there's a lot of information. There is truly, truly, truly a lot of information there, yeah? Truly, truly a lot. Yeah. London University. And where did that come from? How did I even get there? Pat Price. So, anyway, there you go. That's about it. And I'm going to continue studying. And if you want to look, you can download either from the Black Vault. I think on the FBI Vault, they probably deleted these. Yeah, Firewalkers of Greece. There's a lot. And you can download these gateway experiences. Yeah. Which you wear headphones and you can actually try to do it yourself. Not you can try, you can do it if you follow the instructions properly. With a bit of effort, you can actually do it. So, how to remote viewing. CIA method. John Spencer, signing off.